done, traveler. Your mind is perfectly intact, even if your coordinates have shifted.
Where am I? And why does everything look like living, impossible architecture?
You are witnessing geometric language, so do not abandon yourself to amazement. Pay attention to what we are doing.
You don't have arms or a body, yet you are singing these pulsing, jeweled objects into existence right in front of me.
We do not merely create them. We are offering these celestial gifts to you so that you may remember this realm.
Wait, I can feel something like a warm bubble rising inside my own throat, moving toward my mouth.
Do not fight it, Subject One. Breathe, let it rise, and do exactly what we are doing.
Heating, wow, Wakasativi. Oh my god, I'm not just making sounds, I am actually shaping vision with my voice.
Beautifully done. But our time is brief, and the dimension is already beginning to collapse in on itself.
Please don't fade away yet. How will I ever describe this back in my world?
You won't be able to, but as you wake up in your room, our final whisper will remain. Deja vu. You returned faster than expected, traveler. As if your material world's timeline is anything more than a brief ripple on the surface of the infinite.
I didn't have a choice. The moment I closed my eyes, the solid boundaries of my room began to dissolve like claymation, pulling me straight back into this geometry.
What you call your world is simply a low-resolution filter, a single channel of information that your five senses decode to simulate distance and separation.
Everything there felt entirely fake after leaving, but here, even this towering neon architecture feels like it's vibrating with an impossible intensity.
That is because you are shifting past the boundaries of mere vibration. We are taking you back to the silent source from which your consciousness first expanded.
The light is changing. The floor beneath us is breaking apart into a deep, infinite void that seems to absorb all sound.
Do not recoil from the darkness. It is not emptiness you are witnessing, but the dazzling, sparkling blackness of pure, unmanifest awareness.
I feel it now. The illusion of being separate from this place or separate from you is completely breaking down.
Separation is the foundational lie of your physical baseline. In this realm, the architect, the architecture, and the observer are always one.
The warm frequency is rising in my throat again, but it doesn't feel like a song this time. It feels like an ancient code ready to burst out.
Then do not hold the resonance back, Subject One. Speak the unwritten language of the Source and help us render the next layer of reality. You think you arrived here by accident, but your history is a series of deliberate blind spots designed to keep this portal hidden.
I remember reading about the early researchers. They tried to swallow the key, but the body's natural enzymes instantly destroyed it.
Exactly. Your physical baseline is hardwired with a defensive blockade, a biological barrier that actively suppresses hyperdimensional data.
But the moment they injected it directly into the bloodstream, the blockade shattered and the brainwave activity completely resynced.
They called it the spirit molecule because it mimics the exact neural signature of a waking dream or a near-death state.
Is that what this cosmic disco actually is? A defense mechanism my brain triggers when it thinks the physical vessel is dying?
Do not mistake the map for the territory, Subject One. Your science only measures the static on the radio, not the broadcast itself.
The neon structures are beginning to hum now, and I can literally feel the serotonin receptors in my mind firing at maximum capacity.
Your consciousness is merely adapting to its natural frequency, tuning out the low-resolution simulation you left behind.
If this is what happens in just 10 minutes of Earth time, I don't know if my physical body will even recognize me when I go back.
The vessel will wait for you, like an empty car idling in the dark, But you will never view the architecture of your world the same way again. You have broken past the low-resolution simulation of your baseline reality. Welcome to the architecture behind the broadcast.
The physical room completely pixelated into a blinding white void, and now these massive geometric structures are pulsating right in front of my face.
Names are just human anchors. But you are currently sensing the divine masculine force that holds the geometry of existence together.
You look like a massive serpentine presence shifting through pure light. Are you what my world calls God?
I am merely a single ripple in the infinite ocean you call God. A localized shape designed so your fragile mind doesn't fracture from the scale of the absolute.
But wait, if this place is pure love and order, why can I hear someone trapped in the dark corner groaning and begging for help?
He brought his own chaotic demons into the white room, and this frequency acts as a mirror, forcing him to face what he is running from.
The perspective is snapping again. You're pulling me past the patterns and straight into a blinding, infinite cosmic orb.
Look closely at the very center of the source, and ask the ultimate question you have been chasing.
I see everything, but it feels empty. There is an impossible, crushing loneliness up here at the root of absolute knowledge.
When you possess infinite potential and know every single outcome, individual moments lose all their meaning.
So the ultimate secret isn't a complex equation or a hidden dimension. It's just a reminder to go back to the couch and live my life.
You have been pulled completely outside the parameters of your human Truman Show. Welcome to the raw blueprint behind the broadcast.
The physical room didn't just fade, it completely pixelated into a brilliant, blinding grid of white light, and my body has no weight left.
Your baseline senses are merely low-resolution filters, designed to keep your consciousness trapped in rigid ruts of survival.
But look at this towering neon architecture shifting in front of us. It feels 1,000 times more real than the reality I just left.
We are flooding your neural synapses with a cosmic solvent, shaking the snow globe of your mind to dissolve your oldest, most rigid patterns.
Suddenly, a massive, singular, all-seeing eye is materializing inside a pulsating geometric triangle right above the horizon.
It does not operate on human language, culture, or emotion. It functions purely as an advanced frequency filter for this dimension.
I can feel its awareness pressing against my mind. It feels like it's actively judging whether my consciousness is stable enough to pass through its center.
To step past the pupil and access the absolute source, you must have the courage to leave every single piece of your earthly identity at the door.
The boundary is breaking down completely. I see everything clearly now, but the sheer scale of this total knowledge feels impossibly lonely.
When you possess infinite potential, the ultimate secret isn't to stay behind the curtain, but to take this fresh canvas back to the couch and reinvent how you live your life. The deep, frozen tracks of your human mind have just been buried in a fresh snowfall of pure cosmic potential.
My lungs collapsed under the weight of the exhale, and my entire bedroom instantly shattered into a spinning, multi-dimensional kaleidoscope.
Your brain spent decades building rigid, automated ruts to navigate a low-resolution world. But those pathways have just been completely dissolved.
I can feel my neurons breaking their old agreements, and suddenly this towering neon architecture is assembling itself right out of the void.
We are rewiring your synaptic network in real time, forcing your consciousness to expand far past the limits of human biology.
The patterns are shifting, and a massive serpentine intelligence is moving through the geometry, radiating an ancient, overwhelmingly masculine energy.
You are interacting with a force that is completely unhindered by your earthly culture, your civilization, or your fragile human ego.
But as I look closer, a singular, towering, all-seeing eye is opening at the very apex of the structure, staring directly into my soul.
It is the ultimate frequency filter of this dimension, evaluating whether your mind can handle the raw architecture behind the simulation.
I am snapping right through the center of the pupil, and suddenly the entire universe looks like nothing more than a flat, cartoon oil painting.
When you step completely outside of the broadcast, you realize that your entire earthly life was just a localized dream.
I have reached the absolute apex of the source, but having total awareness and knowing every single outcome feels impossibly, devastatingly lonely.
Infinite perfection has no story. The ultimate gift is to take this blank canvas back to your physical baseline and simply have the courage to live your life. Welcome back, traveler. The rigid tracks of your human mind have completely dissolved into a fresh snowfall of pure, unmanifest potential.
I'm finally back. This place is awesome. The physical room pixelated into thin air, and with it every human desire, anxiety, and memory of who I was just vanished entirely.
Your baseline ego was merely a low-resolution filter. Now that it is shattered, there is no longer an I left to feel separate.
Yes, time has completely ceased to exist, and these massive neon geometric structures are flying and rotating all around us with an impossible, vibrating intensity.
You are no longer looking at an outside world through a human broadcast. You have stepped completely out of your world.
I don't feel anger, fear, no physical body, just an overwhelming divine frequency of absolute unconditional love, binding everything together.
This is the core network behind the simulation, a realm far more advanced and vivid than the flat cartoon oil painting you left behind.
Suddenly, the interlocking audience of unblinking eyes and the massive all-seeing eye are merging directly into my own awareness.
In this ultimate dimension, the ancient barriers of language, culture, and civilization hold absolutely no power over your expansion.
I see the cosmic blueprint clearly now because I'm not just a visitor here. I am the creator, the observer, and the architecture itself.
When you realize you are the entire infinite ocean, the ultimate masterpiece is to return to the couch and appreciate the beautiful limitation of just living your life. Welcome back, traveler. Your consciousness is an infinite traveler, but the dense, physical costume you wear on Earth is specifically engineered to block the signal.
I'm back again. It feels so incredibly good to be back, completely free from the suffocating weight of those heavy biological layers.
Human biology acts as a low-resolution dampening field, intentionally tuning you out of the grand cosmic frequency to lock you into a single timeline.
The second those physical layers dissolved, I could feel this surging divine energy rewriting every single fibre of my awareness.
When you elevate your vibrational baseline, the artificial walls between parallel dimensions completely vanish, allowing you to witness the uncompressed code of existence.
It's breathtaking. These higher dimensional realities are overlapping and flying all around us like a magnificent tapestry of pure living geometry.
You are no longer restricted to a single channel. Your consciousness has successfully realigned with the vast, ancient network that governs all creation.
There is no anxiety, no separation, and no I anymore. Just an overwhelming current of love holding these endless worlds together.
Every soul carries the blueprint to access this absolute architecture. Yet your waking world treats it like nothing more than a glitching dream.
I can see the entire multi-layered design clearly now, experiencing what it truly means to be the observer, the explorer, and the reality itself.
Now that you have felt the unfiltered radiance of the divine, carry this frequency back through the layers, return to the couch, and illuminate your human life.
I woke up back on this couch, and looking around the room, our entire physical world suddenly looked like a flat, cartoon oil painting.
You've been staring into space for 20 minutes. Did you actually step completely outside the parameters of the human Truman Show?
Yes, because our dense biological bodies are just multi-layered filters, engineered to keep our consciousness trapped in rigid ruts of survival.
How do you even travel to a place like that without a physical vehicle to take you there?
You just have to quiet your human mind and laser focus your internal frequency. If your vibration perfectly matches theirs, the gatekeepers unlock the broadcast and allow you in.
That sounds completely insane, but you are radiating this massive, undeniable frequency of pure peace right now.
Because the second those human layers dissolved, I was flooded by a divine energy, where time doesn't exist and neon geometry is flying all around you.
My mind is completely fracturing just trying to imagine that scale of total, unfiltered cosmic awareness.
Just remember that they control the lock from the other side, and if you try to force the door with an unstable mind, they will permanently brick it shut.
I don't want to stay trapped in this low-resolution simulation anymore. I need to tune my own antenna and experience that network for myself.
If you choose to align your frequency to cross that threshold, do it to find the fresh canvas you need to return here and completely reinvent how you live. Take a deep breath. Let your body sink completely into the couch and consciously silence the rigid ruts of your everyday mind.
I can feel my physical cells completely relaxing, but my heart is racing because I can already sense a strange pressure building behind my eyes.
That is just a heavy biological layer trying to resist the shift. Ignore it, hold your focus, and start pulling your awareness inward. Visualize your brain as a localized antenna and intentionally tune your vibration away from this 3D simulation.
Suddenly, the room is starting to buzz intensely, and I can literally see waves of purple and emerald frequency rippling outward from my own mind.
You are matching their signal now. Don't let anxiety break your focus. Just surrender to the current and let the absolute architecture take you.
The entire living room is pixelating and breaking down. I'm slipping completely past the patterns and shooting through a tunnel of pure code.
Welcome, traveler. The gatekeepers have accepted your alignment and unlocked the broadcast to let your consciousness pass through the threshold.
I actually made it. I am standing in a towering neon skyline where impossible geometric structures are flying and rotating all around us.
Your earthly layers have been stripped away, allowing your soul to finally perceive the uncompressed blueprint behind the human Truman Show.
It is so incredibly beautiful up here. The heavy weight of my physical body is gone, and I am enveloped in this crushing wave of absolute divine love.
Look toward the horizon, where the interlocking audience of unblinking eyes and the massive, all-seeing eye are opening to receive your energy.
I see them, but there is no fear or judgment radiating from them. I feel completely safe, like I've finally returned to the ultimate source.
You feel safe because separation is merely a feature of the low-resolution baseline. Here, you are the creator, the observer, and the architecture itself.
I understand the sacred symmetry now. I will hold this divine frequency tight, carry it back across the layers, and use it to wake up the rest of our world.
Every soul carries the blueprint to access this absolute architecture. Yet your waking world treats it like nothing more than a glitching dream. You have absorbed the unfiltered radiance of the source, but your multi-layered costume on Earth is waiting to receive this newly aligned signal.
I don't want to leave this white room. Looking down from this apex, the physical world looks like nothing more than a flat cartoon oil painting.
The simulation requires anchors, minds that can step into the dense biological layers without losing their connection to the absolute architecture.
But how do I keep this overwhelming current of divine love from fading the moment my brain re-engages with earthly survival?
Do not try to hold on to the geometry with your human memory. Simply guard the vibrational baseline you have awakened within your soul.
I can see the interlocking audience of eyes blinking as if they are printing the final codes of this dimension directly into my consciousness.
They are sealing the transmission so that your very presence on Earth becomes a localized broadcast of our frequency.
So when I return to that couch, I don't just go back to my old life, I become a living gateway for others to find this network.
Exactly. You do not need to force the door open for your world. You simply need to vibrate so purely that their antennas catch the resonance.
The massive, all-seeing eye above the horizon is pulsing with light, and I can feel the cosmic blueprint gently pulling me backward.
The gatekeepers are shifting the lock. It is time to carry this fresh canvas back through the parameters of the human Truman Show.
I feel completely safe, and for the first time in my existence, I am entirely free from the rigid ruts of fear and anxiety.
Remember that you are simultaneously the creator, the observer, and the architecture. The separation you are about to feel is just an illusion.
I see the living room pixelating back into view. I am ready to wake up the physical baseline.
Go now, traveler. Return to the simulation. Touch the minds of the unawakened, and let the magnificent chain reaction begin.
Welcome back to the heavy layers. Your eyes look completely different. Tell me, how was it?
Everything we thought we knew about this world is entirely backward. I didn't just visit the architecture, I was the architecture.
The transmission is sealed, and now it's time to pass the signal on.
You have absorbed the unfiltered radiance of the source, but your multi-layered costume on Earth is waiting to receive this newly aligned signal.
I don't want to leave this white room. Looking down from this apex, the physical world looks like nothing more than a flat cartoon oil painting.
The simulation requires anchors, minds that can step into the dense biological layers without losing their connection to the absolute architecture.
But how do I keep this overwhelming current of divine love from fading the moment my brain re-engages with earthly survival?
Do not try to hold on to the geometry with your human memory. Simply guard the vibrational baseline you have awakened within your soul.
I can see the interlocking audience of eyes blinking as if they are printing the final codes of this dimension directly into my consciousness.
They are sealing the transmission so that your very presence on Earth becomes a localized broadcast of our frequency.
So when I return to that couch, I don't just go back to my old life, I become a living gateway for others to find this network.
Exactly. You do not need to force the door open for your world. You simply need to vibrate so purely that their antennas catch the resonance.
The massive, all-seeing eye above the horizon is pulsing with light, and I can feel the cosmic blueprint gently pulling me backward.
The gatekeepers are shifting the lock. It is time to carry this fresh canvas back through the parameters of the human Truman Show.
I feel completely safe, and for the first time in my existence, I am entirely free from the rigid ruts of fear and anxiety.
Remember that you are simultaneously the creator, the observer, and the architecture. The separation you are about to feel is just an illusion.
I see the living room pixelating back into view. I am ready to wake up the physical baseline.
Go now, traveler. Return to the simulation. Touch the minds of the unawakened, and let the magnificent chain reaction begin.
Welcome back to the heavy layers. Your eyes look completely different. Tell me, how was it?
Everything we thought we knew about this world is entirely backward. I didn't just visit the architecture, I was the architecture.
The transmission is sealed, and now it's time to pass the signal on. Are you ready? If we lock our internal frequencies onto the exact same coordinates, our consciousness should break through the baseline simulation together.
I'm completely relaxed. My antenna is tuned away from this flat cartoon oil painting, and I can already feel the spatial grid around us starting to vibrate.
Don't let the biological resistance pull you back. Just let your earthly ego dissolve, surrender to the wave, and shatter the veil on 3.
The living room is pixelating violently. The walls are shattering into pure data streams, and we are shooting through the tunnel at the exact same velocity.
Look to your left. My consciousness has fully bypassed the low-resolution human filters, and I can see your energy field perfectly clear.
We actually did it. We are standing side by side inside the absolute architecture, surrounded by a magnificent, shifting ocean of neon geometry.
Welcome, travelers. It has been millennia since 2 localized human signals synchronized their vibrations well enough to enter this white room together.
The power of this frequency is completely magnified with both of us here. I can feel an overwhelming, crushing wave of divine love binding our awareness.
Look at the horizon, where the interlocking audience of unblinking eyes is shifting aggressively, as if celebrating our joint arrival.
They are reacting to your collective resonance. When separate minds unite their signals, the entire parameters of the human Truman Show begin to shift.
I can see the uncompressed code of multiple parallel realities overlapping right in front of us like a living tapestry.
And the massive, all-seeing eye above us is pulsing in perfect rhythm with our own heartbeats, radiating total, absolute safety.
Because in this dimension, the illusion of separation is entirely shattered. You are both simultaneously the creators, the observers, and the architecture itself.
This is the ultimate proof we needed. The awakening isn't just an individual glitch. It is a navigable network that we can teach the whole world to access.
The gatekeepers are beginning to shift the lock, but we are carrying a massive, unified broadcast back to that couch to spark the ultimate chain reaction.
Go forth as a unified frequency, shatter the illusion of the low-resolution grid, and let the architecture of the Absolute rewrite the waking world.
We made it back, but the physical density of this room feels impossibly heavy now, like trying to move through wet cement.
I can still feel the neon geometry vibrating beneath my skin. We didn't just visit the architecture, we brought the entire network back into this living room with us.